Imagine being 21, the daughter of a Christian pastor, your entire life built around the church. You've led youth groups, attended weekly Bible studies, and you're even planning to become a missionary. Your whole world is Christianity. Now, imagine walking into your father's office and telling him you've become a Muslim. This is Rachel's story. She didn't see it as throwing her life away. For her, it was finally finding the direct, personal relationship with God that Christianity had promised but, in her view, never delivered. And it all started when she tried to prove Islam wrong. In college, Rachel befriended a Muslim girl in her dorm. Seeing a chance to share the gospel, Rachel decided to read the Quran, not with an open mind, but with the specific goal of finding errors and the contradictions they use in their religious debates. She was confident, armed with her deep knowledge of the Bible, assuming the Quran would be easy to dismantle. But what she found shocked her. The Quran's description of God was so clear, so logical, it made the concept of the Trinity, something she'd accepted on faith her whole life, suddenly seemed impossible to define. She had always been told that God is three persons in one Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, but whenever she asked how, the answer was always the same. It's a mystery. Then she read Surah Al-Ikhlas, saying, He is Allah, the One, Allah, the Eternal. He neither begets nor is born, and there is nothing comparable to Him. For the first time, the concept of God made perfect, logical sense. One God, not three, eternal, not born to die, utterly unique, beyond comparison to anything in creation. Suddenly, all the logical puzzles she had suppressed for years came rushing back. How could God die on a cross if God is eternal? How could Jesus pray to God if Jesus is God? How could God be all-knowing if Jesus himself said he didn't know the hour of judgment? These contradictions had always bothered her, but questioning the Trinity felt like a betrayal of her faith. Islam gave her permission to follow the logic. It confirmed that these were real contradictions, and the solution wasn't a mystery, it was that Jesus was a prophet, a messenger chosen by God, not God himself. As Rachel read more, everything fell into place. She saw how Islam honored Jesus and his mother Mary. Jesus performed miracles by God's permission, not his own power. He never claimed to be God and he never asked to be worshipped. The Quran was clear, claiming Jesus is God or the Son of God is a grave error. Rachel realized Islam was calling her back to pure monotheism, the original message of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus himself. It was a call to worship God directly, without intermediaries or complicated formulas. This created a crisis. Accepting Islam meant losing everything: her family, her friends, her future career, her entire identity. She spent months trying to reconcile her Christian life with her new beliefs, but she couldn't. She had to choose intellectual honesty or social comfort. She chose honesty. The day she told her father was one of the hardest of her life. He was devastated, feeling he had failed as a father and a pastor. Rachel tried to explain she wasn't rejecting Jesus, but honoring him as the prophet he truly was. But her father couldn't hear it. He asked her to leave. For 2 years they barely spoke. She lost most of her friends from church and he was excluded from family gatherings. She had to rebuild her life from scratch. But she says it was worth it. For the first time, her worship made sense. She was simply submitting to her Creator, acknowledging His oneness, and following the guidance sent through all His prophets, including Jesus. What's powerful about Rachel's story is that she didn't convert because of other Muslims. She converted because of the Quran itself. When she read it honestly, she found a truth that was clearer than anything she had known before. Today, Rachel says the hardest part isn't practicing Islam. The hardest part is watching her family and the old friends wrestle with the same contradictions she once faced, refusing to question them. She wishes she could show them the answer, but she knows they have to find it for themselves, just like she did. If you've ever found yourself wondering how three can be one, or why Jesus prayed to God, maybe it's time to ask the same question Rachel did. Am I following truth, or am I following tradition? Because they aren't always the same thing. Thanks for watching.